Today I want to create a quick tutorial on how to create or fake a long exposure look in Photoshop without actually having to take 2 to 5 minute exposures. If you've watched my last 2 vlogs in Portugal, you'll probably notice that I've referenced this technique multiple times, and today I want to show you exactly what I was doing. So if we pop over here into Lightroom, you see I've already selected 4 images. I've already made my basic adjustments, but the important thing to note here is the shutter speed. I have about 25 seconds on each, so I have 4. So we'll just round that off and say that we're going to create a 2-minute exposure-ish. So once we've made our adjustments in Lightroom, what we'll do is we'll select all 4, we'll right-click, go to Edit In, go to Open as Layers in Photoshop. So in my example, I'm using 25 seconds per image. For yours, you can use anything that you want. For instance, you can take 20 photos at 1 second or what have you. The same concept applies and you'll get the long exposure look. This is very useful for if you don't have any ND filters or you don't have any ND filters on you at the moment. In this example, I was using a 6-stop ND, it was golden hour, and taking anything over 30 seconds would blow out the water essentially. So by doing this, I can still get that long exposure look without blowing out the water. All right, so here we are in Photoshop. We have our 4 images. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna duplicate one real quick just to refer back to. What we need to first do is to select all layers. What I'm gonna do also is just go to Edit, Auto Align Layers, Auto, and hit OK. This is just gonna align the layers in case there were any differences throughout each image. I want them to line up perfectly for this. Now if I deselect, you'll see that they're lined up very well. So now what we need to do, we have them all selected. We'll go right click, convert to smart object. Okay, now that that's done, we need to go to layer. We need to go down to smart objects. We need to go to stack mode and then mean. Now in my videos, I mentioned stack mode and mean, and this is exactly what I meant by that. So let's click on that now. Now, depending on your computer, this could take a few minutes. So boom, we're finished just like that. We turned our 25-second or 30-second image into roughly a 2-minute exposure. So I'm gonna toggle off this layer just to show what we've done. So we started off with one 25-second image. After combining 4, this is what we're left with. And you can see the water is much smoother and it definitely recreates a super long exposure sort of look without actually having to take a 2-minute exposure. And for me, this is very straightforward, easy process. And as I said before, this is what I often do when I'm shooting golden hour and at the ocean and I'm trying to get a long exposure look. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you found this useful, hit the subscribe and like button and tune in for future tutorials.